Hi, everybody. I'm author Jared Nesher. I'm the author of The Dragon Child, Dragon's Quest. Uh, for those of you who haven't read the book, I won't give anything away. For those of you who have read the book, there's just to give you a little bit more information. I've had several people ask, oh, where did I come up with the idea for the book, The Dragon Child, and the series, which it's attached to? There were several ideas that actually really kind of developed, and they came together, which was really neat how things came along. The original concept, which started the ideas kicking around in my head, was I'm a Christian. I grew up in a Christian home, Christian church, and I kept hearing the phrase kicked around: "Dragons are evil. Dragons are evil." Even went to a Christian seminar, and someone said, it'd be great to have a dragon as a pet, and even one with the voice of Sean Connery. And they're evil. I just never really believed that. And as a Christian, I tried to base my views within my Christian faith. So, and I looked at it as, it said in the Bible that God created everything and he called it good. So if dragons existed, God created them and God called them good. Kind of like the idea of, the serpents. Serpents are good. It's just that Satan used one to deceive Eve. So, I just really didn't like the aspect of dragons are evil. And there's several book series out there that have the same concept, that dragons aren't evil. When you see like pictures and posters of dragons, usually you see these ones that are ugly looking, evil. You got some knight or wizard trying to kill the dragon. And you look up dragons on the internet and you have a whole bunch of pictures. The majority of the pictures are, evil dragons. And I just never liked that concept. So I came up with the idea that, dragons are good. And it's just their choices. I remember growing up and reading the Hobbit and looking at the character Smaug. I realized that he was a very intelligent dragon. He wasn't an animal. He wasn't just this beast that did everything by instinct. He actually was very intelligent, and he chose to do the things that he did, which kind of followed up with the idea that dragons are, they have their choices, good and evil. So, which gave me a little bit of leeway to work with the idea that dragons are good. The second concept, which was kicking around in my head, was I remember sitting down and reading Lord of the Rings, and I'd look at the map of Middle Earth. While I was a teenager, an idea just popped in my head. I looked at the map, and it would roughly be the size of the United States, if anything, the size of North America. So it always made me wonder, what was beyond those borders? What was going on in the other lands? Because it wasn't the whole world. So what was going on in the rest of the planet, the rest of the world? And then the other concept came into, well, did anyone travel outside of Middle Earth into the other lands? Did they ever come back and tell stories of the things that they seen and the adventures that they had? And so I kind of just developed, more like an expanded universe idea. What if all the fantasy books existed, all the maps, put together, created the whole planet. What if someone had the time and the ability to go through every single land? And it was kind of a really cool idea, and I started taking that and running with that. And I really did like the idea, and I had several other people that thought it would be a cool book series to see that. You'd have one person, or more than one person, a whole group of people, go through all these different fantasy lands, and they never really touched the story that was in that land. Because they weren't caught up in the battles and the wars of that land, because they had their own quest, but they were going through. So I really did like that idea of the characters being able to go through the whole Earth. And so I put those together, that concept and the concept that dragons were good. And everything kind of snowballed after that. Came up with the main character being half dragon, half human, giving him the lifespan and the abilities to take on a quest like this. So a lot of the characters that he takes with him, going into it, I didn't realize that it was actually going to be a little bit more than just that, because as the concept of going into different lands, you also have the idea that the races are going to be different, the languages is going to be different, even the magic. What magic does in one land will not be the same as the magic in another land, and so everything acts differently. So the characters, as they're traveling across the world, will have to interact with this constant changing environment, and I really like that idea. I haven't seen any other book series really do this. If you know of one, let me know. I'd love to read it. Will my characters travel through known books? Probably not, unless an author gets with me and says, hey, let's combine our books. Then I might. But, especially for like copyright issues, my characters won't be traveling through Lord of the Rings. But mostly it's the idea, have in the back of your head that, they're traveling across the earth. So when you're looking at a particular book series, look at the map and just always wonder what's going on the other side of that map. Because I remember even reading Terry Brooks' the Shannara series. Everything happened in the four lands, generation after generation. I think one trilogy went out just on the outskirts, just a little bit, but next book series, it came right back into the four lands, and just generation after generation. I love that, the whole Shannara series. But it always just made me wonder, okay, what was going on the other side of the world? Because that map couldn't be the entire world. That was a lot of the concepts that I was dealing with. I want to know, while these things are going on, what's happening outside of that map. So it really kind of coalesced into a story. I wish, as the author, I could say that I'm making the story. I'm kind of not. It's kind of taken on a life of its own. Some people will think that's ridiculous. It can't happen. Some authors will probably agree with me that sometimes the story just really kind of has a flow of itself, and it writes itself. There's times when I try to take control over it and move it the way I want to move it, and it kind of dies. It really can't go anywhere. So usually when I let it go, it takes off. I know as of right now for the Dragon Child series, I have 8 books outlined, and I've got at least 12 books in my head. but as of right now, I have 8 outlined completely. So I know the story's growing and it's getting bigger. There's just a lot going on. I know the first book introduced the characters. The second book really picks up the pace a little bit more. You really get to see that concept of being out of your comfort zone. You're in a land that you don't know. You don't know the history of the land. You don't know the people, the magic, and so you get to see that interaction with the unknown. I think that's the cool thing is that these characters aren't dealing with mythology of a land that their family has lived in for generations. So it's a cool concept, and I hope everyone likes it. Dragon Child, Dragon's Quest is on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. So just pick it up. I do have an ebook copy, so tell me what you think. Just subscribe to this YouTube channel. I got more stuff coming down the line. Subscribe to my Facebook page. Share it with everyone you know. Get it out there. This, like I said, I don't think I've seen a series like this, but prove me wrong. Let me know if there's something similar to this. I like the idea of the expanded universe idea. So just let me know what you think. It's going to be a fun adventure. I hope you like it. So have a wonderful day. Thanks.